Well, that is sort of curious. I paid for my first meal, and we hit it off. And he actually sent me a letter. He was very prone to doing these things. He was one of the first guys to give you a menu when it came out, and he would often sign it and do this. But he wouldn't really sign it. He would offer a little note, and about 4 or 5 days later, I get a letter in the mail. Charlie Trotter. He always uses business envelopes. It was long envelopes with Charlie Trotters, and it was a typed letter, with everything. And he always signed everything with high regards. That was, and I'd never seen that before. That was very cool. William F. Buckley always signed his letters cordially, which I thought was great. But Charlie said with high regards, Charlie. And there's very personal thank you notes, and it wasn't like just having somebody in the office writing and signing it. He said, "It was so great to talk to you about arpege. I wonder if you think what Passard." It was just, and not wordy and obsessive. Just he took a genuine curiosity. He had curiosity about everything, and he took a genuine curiosity in his guests. So the next time I went, and again he talked to me and he said, "I'm sorry I'm monopolizing your time." So I said, "No, I'm just loving this. I'm talking. I'm getting a lot more out of this than you are, I think." And no check. And I think for over the next 8-10 years, I think I kept, maybe one time I got a check. And what I would do is I'd go home, and I would send him something. I had some Laguiole steak knives that I bought in France. They were really ones you couldn't get here. I'd send them to him. "Thank you so much. That was so generous." Of course, with Charlie, you couldn't out generous Charlie, and he said, I get a package, and he say, "Thank you for the generous gift of the Laguiole knives. I haven't seen those before. They're great. Here, enjoy this." And it was like the knives that he was doing for, was it not Cor? I forget which company. Again with the K, but the knives that he developed, it's the same company doing with Keller, and it was like ping pong, and I say no, thank you, and I equate it to, if you know what the French goodbye is, and that's how the French, they say goodbye, oh no, goodbye, oh goodbye, and it's forever and ever and ever. And Charlie's just back and forth, it's like tennis. "Yeah, Charlie, thank you. Here, have this, enjoy this." "Oh no, you enjoy this." And finally, you have to kind of stop because you couldn't out generous Charlie. So I decided every time I'd come to the restaurant, I didn't expect to be comped ever, but I would bring him books. So he was into certain books. He was into music. I'm into music as well. He's really into jazz, so I made it a point to try and find old jazz records or box sets, obscure things I'd order from France. Trying to not so much one up him, but it's tough when you're dealing with somebody who's so generous, because you think you're doing something generous and he beats you, and it was very thoughtful. He just paid his attention to detail with everything he did. It was amazing, but it was the same with people. So he really, I believe he liked to understand people, and conversations with him almost always turned to you. I'd say 90% was about you, and you had to start asking what he was doing, and he'd say, "Oh, I'm going to France and I'll run the marathon. What did you think about this? Where have you been? What have you done?" So he liked to collect other people's experiences in a way, and that wasn't a voyeuristic thing, but a lot of people in his position are very narcissistic, and I never got that from him. And it was rarely about him. I think that's the thing that really hit me.